Hello everyone, and welcome to a deep dive into history. For over 2 millennia, one figure has fundamentally shaped the course of Western civilization, ethics, law, and culture: Jesus of Nazareth. But beyond the traditional Sunday school narrative, who was the historical Jesus? What facts are established by historical records outside the Bible? Today, we are exploring the fascinating historical and cultural facts about Jesus, many of which often surprise even the most faithful. Get ready to look at history with new eyes. Fact 1. The year of his birth is historically debated. It may be surprising, but the traditional date of Christmas, December 25th, and the year 0 are not historically accurate for Jesus' birth. Most modern scholars agree that Jesus was likely born between 4 BC and 6 BC. This is primarily based on the dating of the death of King Herod the Great, an event central to the Nativity story, which is known to have occurred around 4 BC. Furthermore, the calendar system we use, known as the Gregorian calendar, was developed centuries later. The monk who established the Anno Domini AD system, Dionysius Exiguus, made a historical miscalculation. So technically, Jesus was not born in the year 1 AD, but a few years earlier. Fact 2. We know his occupation and his brother's name. The Gospels are quite clear that Jesus was a tekton, a Greek word often translated as carpenter. However, in the context of 1st century Nazareth, this term covered a broader range of professions, including a craftsman, builder, or stonemason. This suggests Jesus was not just working with wood, but was involved in the physical construction trade common in his region. Moreover, the New Testament explicitly names several of his siblings, including 4 brothers, James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas, and mentions that he had sisters. James, in particular, became a very prominent leader in the early Christian movement in Jerusalem. Fact 3. Non-Christian sources confirm his existence. Skeptics sometimes question the historical existence of Jesus, but his presence is verified by several non-Christian historians and writers from the 1st and 2nd centuries. The most famous are Josephus, a Jewish historian, and Tacitus, a Roman historian. Tacitus, writing around 116 AD, mentions Christus being executed by the procurator Pontius Pilate during the reign of Tiberius. These secular accounts, written by individuals who were not followers, confirm key details: that Jesus was a real person, that he had a following, and that he was executed under Roman authority. This consensus is what makes his existence undisputed among serious scholars today. Fact 4. Crucifixion was a common Roman execution method. While the image of the cross is universally recognized today, in the Roman world, crucifixion was not unique or special. It was a common, brutal, and humiliating method of execution reserved for slaves, rebels, and non-Roman citizens. The purpose was not just to kill the victim, but to make a public spectacle and deter others from challenging Roman authority. The fact that Jesus was crucified places him directly into the context of a highly volatile Roman-occupied Judea, underscoring the political threat the Romans perceived him to be. Fact 5. His name was common and his home was undistinguished. The name Jesus is the Greek version of the common Hebrew name Yeshua or Joshua, meaning God is salvation. It was an extremely common name in the 1st century. Furthermore, the town of Nazareth was not a major metropolitan center. It was a small, quiet, and largely insignificant village in the Galilean hills. The Gospels even record people questioning Jesus' origins, saying, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" This fact highlights that Jesus did not originate from a center of power or learning, but from a humble provincial background. Fact 6. The Gospels were not eyewitness accounts. While traditionally attributed to apostles, most historians agree that the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, were written anonymously decades after Jesus' death by 2nd or 3rd generation followers, and were based on oral traditions and earlier written sources. The Gospel of Mark, often considered the earliest, was likely written around 65-70 AD. They were written in Greek, not the Aramaic or Hebrew Jesus spoke. Understanding the Gospels as documents written within a community to express their faith and teachings helps us appreciate the complexity of translating historical events into sacred texts. Fact 7. Jesus spoke Aramaic, not modern English. It seems obvious, but it is an important historical fact. Jesus did not speak the language we read the Bible in today. The primary language spoken by Jesus and the common people of Judea and Galilee was Aramaic, a Semitic language closely related to Hebrew. The famous cry from the cross, Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani, recorded in Mark's Gospel, is Aramaic for, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This offers a powerful linguistic connection back to the historical figure. The historical facts about Jesus of Nazareth paint a picture of a Jewish craftsman born during a politically turbulent era who was recognized by his contemporaries and executed by the Roman state. His story, validated by both religious and secular sources, proves that the impact of this single figure is undeniably rooted in history. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.